Spider-Man No Way Home.
Spider-Man No Way Home is the newest Spider-Man film, and this is probably my first time going to be doing a second viewing of, a second viewing review of a film, because I did find some issues on this last rewatch. I saw it in IMAX this time, which enhanced it nearly completely. The audience wasn't as great, but I did enjoy it more in IMAX, considering the spectacle and the CGI. So, I'm just going to say this is spoilers, so second viewing, spoilers. I'm going to just basically, this is going to be finding some issues, and probably a change grading of my issues with the film. So, it's not that much change. I mean, I still want to keep it in the franchise review, because that was my initial reaction, but it's definitely going to be just a teensy bit lower than previously. So, my biggest issue with I said that this film was a 10 out of 10. It is not a 10 out of 10. It is just a teensy bit lower. On rewatch, I found that the first act kind of drags, but I don't mean it's slow. It's just pulling the film down from being on this perfect level, because it is not that memorable. Once you get into that bridge scene, or once you get to Doctor Strange's house, it flies by. But it's like, you check the time, it's 9:20 when the movie starts. And then it's 10 when you get to that bridge scene. It's just simple stuff like that. And it's still really fast-paced, but it is definitely a slower part of the movie. I'm not really understanding the point of what they were trying to get across. Well, every Spider-Man movie has some form of trouble that isn't superhero related. Spider-Man 2, for instance, had financial troubles for some reason. But Spider-Man No Way Home, it has legal troubles, which is definitely a more realistic approach, but it is not one that needed to be in there because it's kind of forgotten about. And Matt Murdock's cameo was fine. I haven't seen Daredevil, so it doesn't mean that much to me. But it is still cool to see out-of-MCU characters inside the MCU now. So that means... But MCU, it's not even MCU anymore. It's MCM, because it's the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse. Because Kevin Feige has confirmed that even the X-Men films and Fantastic Four, the Fantastic films, are all canon and all in the MCU. So that means, because of this, we're going to see a lot more things than what we originally expected when we walked into the theater for Iron Man. But, yeah, Toby and Andrew, let me get this out of the way. My biggest issue is that Toby never had a moment. Toby, his moments were stopping Tom Holland's Peter Parker from killing Green Goblin, or saying hi to Doc Ock for the first time in how many years. But to Andrew had like 50 I can count. He's the one that says, "I love you guys." Is that a band? Go band! Oh my gosh, the Avengers thing. And the landing scene, when they're a trio, it's great, but Toby is always back there. Like, Andrew is helping Toby with this movie's really unreal, though. This is basically going to be covering all my issues. I still love the film to death, but this is just the stuff I noticed. This is going to be more negative because it is the morning, so yeah. Toby didn't feel there. He felt like he didn't have anything to do. He really didn't... I feel like his character was most misunderstood from all of them. I mean, like, he's definitely not that quiet considering Spider-Man 3, and there should have been more, like, development. And, see, honestly, I'm kind of disappointed that there wasn't more just sit-down talk Spider-Man. I mean, I really would just love to see, like, a whole, like, reel of stuff. It goes on for 2 hours with just a scripted conversation between all three of them. That would be awesome. But, this film is really well done, whether it be comedically driven at some points, or dramatically driven, which was also my biggest issue, because every MCU film has that moment where there's a nice moment, and then there's Rocket the Raccoon coming up, going, "Let's go get this, Nimrod." It's something stupid like that. And that bugs me a lot. I know it doesn't only bug me, but it just kind of ruins the plot, because, like, there's Ned interrupting a kiss, or there's a romantic moment between Peter and MJ, and then Happy wakes up with his breathalyzer. It's just stuff like that. Lizard and Sandman are entirely underused. I do like how Sandman and Electro are like besties, and then Doc Ock and Green Goblin, that we've never seen them interact, are like besties. It's just stuff like that. The fan service, this is definitely one of the best, one of the most well done films due to fan service. Like, it gave film audiences what they wanted, which, I mean, if you're going to give them and make it an unsatisfying film, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be as good as it could be. And I'm so glad Marvel, it doesn't matter if you're like, this is ruining cinema, but just because there's fan service, like Doctor Sleep was incredible, and that had big fan service at the end, and I like that fan service, because I'm a fan. And it's not only there to just make people watch it for nostalgia, because they're not cameos, they're like characters. All of these people are characters, and it doesn't matter how many problems I find with this film, I will always defend it. It does have one of the best, I'd say it has the saddest ending in the MCU. Not the best, but definitely the saddest. Like, Peter Parker, forget the whole spell issue, it was really well done, and I really recommend this film. If you've seen it, go rewatch it, make sure it's an IMAX, but, yeah, if you don't know my rating system, an 8 out of 10 to a 9 out of 10 is a golden ticket, and a 9.5 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10 is a trophy. I'm going to give Spider-Man No Way Home a 9.5 out of 10. Not a 10, 9.5, because that's fair. That's going to be a trophy. Like I said, it's just, this film is absolutely incredible, and it's an absolute dream to watch, but it's just, there's some things that aren't balanced out completely, and it does kind of smooth in, like, it kind of ruins the road that we were on, the smooth road, and just kind of kills it. But yeah, that's all my, I think that's all my issues. The pacing is fine, the music is absolutely incredible. This definitely has some of the best cinematography ever from the MCU that isn't directed by the Russos. And this is a highlight of the MCU, or MCM, and I can't wait for Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. I don't like Venom's post-credit scene because he was barely in it, but that's, it's whatever. That means we're and I heard Andrew's coming back for more projects, so I don't know, and I'm really excited to see what they take this. They could take it really well, or they could reverse the spell. They better not reverse that spell. But yes, that's all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys had a good holiday, whatever you celebrate. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay gold, everyone.